Hello and welcome back. So I know I try and do 3 videos a week. This week has been insane. It's actually Friday night at almost 10 o'clock at night when I'm recording this. Yeah, my computer decided it wanted to not work between last episode and this one. I think I've narrowed the problem down. I kept getting the blue screen of death, but in these, updated versions, it's no longer a blue screen of death. It just says, your PC ran into a problem, we have to restart, whatever. So I have a stick of my RAM sitting on my desk. I think I isolated the issue to the RAM, but I don't really know. So yeah, let's get back into where we were. Let's get reacquainted real quick. Obviously, since I last recorded an episode, I haven't played, so I have to remind myself. He wants a blonde ale with brown malt and 3 strength. So while we're here paused, let's start some. Nope, can't start somewhere brewing. So he wants a blonde ale with brown malt and 3 strength. We'll just click through. We'll get this one done. So blonde ale is these 3, and then he wants brown malt. So we need 3 strength. The only way we can get strength is with pale malt. So we go 1, 2, 3. Cool. 3 strength. Brown malt. It needs to have at least a minimum, it has to be at least 10 to give to him, and this can go up to 27. So that works. Just have that guy brew it. It's fine. Blonde for Lord. And like I said in I think the first video or something, maybe the second, these beers that we're brewing like to get something else. So this light ale, the brother wanted us to brew it for the blonde ale. Okay, we got the blonde ale, and then he wanted us to brew blonde ale for the old ale. Okay, we brewed it. Now the Lord wants a blonde and a light ale, so we're not gonna sell the specialty quote-unquote beers because that's just not. They're not all grains. I don't want to sell anything that's not all grains. If we have extras left over for whatever reason, like I think when I brewed this one, I had to brew like 100 liters. Well, we brewed 100 liters and then I didn't need it, so I sold it. So that's kind of where we're at on that. We have no florins, and no beer stored, so our monks are going to start getting upset. So let's go ahead and start this. Yeah, you can see he is upset. Oh, that's because it's too dark. I'm going to pause it real quick, just so we can redo all of our lights, and then I'm going to come back through with the brooms and hit all the rooms with brooms. All the rooms with brooms. I rhymed. I didn't mean to, but it is what it is. Let's see down here. Is it okay? Yeah, so it doesn't have enough light regardless. So we need to light this room up a little more. All right, let's start it off. It's about to be a night cycle, so we'll speed through a night cycle. This is the blonde ale for the Lord that we're working on. You can see progress down here, and then it tells you up here again. So we have 20% done. And these guys want an old ale. Let's try and negotiate. We've been shooting for about 20% markup, and they accepted it. Sweet. Alright, let's brew some old ale. Nobody has brewed this one yet, so we're just gonna max it out because we can sell it. Alright, there's the blonde ale for the Lord, and then he also wants a light ale with the gruit. Oh, once again, in the comments, let me know how to actually pronounce that. And then flavor of 3. Okay. So, just make sure light ale, and then those 2, and then it wants gruit. Let's go with gruit, that sounds better. A flavor of 3. So we want to get everything else up into the greens too. So let's just, yeah, we can do that. And then we'll just hit this one a few more times actually. Oh no, that's too many. It wants a flavor of 3. So yeah, we'll do that. It's a flavor of 3.8. Everything else is in the green. Getting it in the yellow actually does kind of help us denote like we're not going to sell this one. So this is going to be light for Lord. Light for the Lord. Brewing that, and then we have 194. Oh, we already finished that. Cool. We have 580 florins and 197 research points. So let's see if we can unlock anything. We want to get another brewery. We know that. And then let's make our shelf life a little better. Because now we can, once we get 750, we can add another brewery and up our brewing. So there's still 50 liters. Yeah, let's get it into the green and then sell. He wants a blonde and the light. We can brew both of those for him. It's just pay and brew. We should have some beer selling in the next few days. It was delivered. They paid us 102 and we got some of that. And then yeah, there's the weekly income. We sold 35 liters for 142 florins. So it's, I don't want to call it passive income, but it's passive income. Another one, they want another old ale, and we're gonna go back up to our 20. Sweet. They want 90 liters of old ale. So, okay, we have 7. Okay, so we can get another brewery. Oh, and right here you see how it's got the +1 quality and -24. I think it's brew time. So, stacking them. So once we, let's just click this one. It's 30. It's good enough. He will take it. So once we get 3 breweries in a row, this brewery will benefit from both breweries on either side of it. And so it's like brewery 1 will benefit brewery 2. Brewery 2 will benefit brewery 3. Brewery 3 will benefit brewery 2. So that's kind of where we're, once we can start like adding more things into the breweries for, yeah, right now we only have these 3 furniture pieces, but we can, you know, we'll end up getting way more. So we can start stacking and making it look real hoppy down here. So we're gonna build this one, and once again, out of money. So we're actually not gonna brew anything real quick because we don't have any money. Let's clean up here. Let's just clean up all the places because we can. Okay, there's some money. They want an old ale, so let's missed it like 3 times there. So he's already brewed it. Let's brew it with you. And then what does it take? You're 180 and you're 210. And then did we put a hops bucket in here? We did not. We're gonna move this. So one, no, that's a candelabra. So it's gonna be candelabra, hops bucket, candelabra, hops bucket, and then we'll smack you right there. Put you in there, and then we can't afford the next one. Nice. Love it. Oh, another order. They want a light ale. Once again, 20% markup. And they did not like that. You know what I think? Because this guy, Brewer 3, I think, well, I know that all of my monks have an ability to negotiate. Yeah, so it's right here, intuition. So each one of our monks is broken down, right? We got their name. Obviously, I've changed all their names just to keep it straight in my head. We have their rank, which is, you know, she's a level 4. He's a level 5, 4, 5. Okay, lots of 4s and 5s. Their experience is over on this side. Years of service, so no one has been with me because we haven't been open for more than a year. And then their monthly upkeep, you can see that up here too. Total fermenting upkeep is 110. We have 6 bed slots, we're only using 5. We have 6 meal slots, we're only using 5. And then their general satisfaction is normal. Breaking this down a little bit, right? We can see what she's doing, researching technology. He's idle, he's brewing. And then we're broken down into intelligence, intuition, productivity, satisfaction, and drunkenness. So intelligence measure of your intellect. It impacts quality and production of research points. So that's why my super intelligent fermentines, which would be researcher 1, intelligence of 6, and then you can see these guys are all 3, 2, and 2, and then she's over here with a 4, so she's our next highest intelligence. Then we have intuition. It's the natural feel that allows the brewers to obtain the best quality from their brews. So it increases the special traits in a recipe, and it also helps with negotiating with the merchant. So, merchant is this guy right here. Obviously we can't unlock him, we have to build a storage room, but eventually we'll be able to negotiate with him. So that's where we want high intuition. And then, ora et labora. I know labora is labor, or I think it's time at labor, but it's productivity. Higher their productivity, the faster they can complete tasks. And then we got content, or satisfaction, contentment, not only from what we have in the monastery, but also, are they fed, are they warm, is there light everywhere, you know, do they have ale to drink, that kind of stuff. And then drunkenness. Woe to those who rise early in the morning, that they may run after strong drink, who tarry late into the evening as wine inflames them. So I think she's not drunk enough, kind of thing. So our researchers are going to have high intelligence. Our brewers are going to have high intuition because quality of the brew and traits in a recipe. So going into that, right, let's look at lights out. Quality of a brew can go from 3 to 33. Pretty cut and dry. But then if we click on this brew, right, it's our old brew. 37 out of 100. We're gonna give it to these guys, and then we're gonna sell the. I didn't change the price. Whatever. So yeah, all of these have a minimum and a maximum, right? So let's go look at our old ale because we just brewed that one. Its max was 37. That beer we brewed was 37. So that was the best we could get. I know we've already gone over the style specials, but for this one, for our old ale, each month in a barrel, it increases by 2. Each month in a barrel, there's a 5% non-cumulative chance of getting infected. So it'd be, you know, if it's October. So if it spends November, December, January, it's, you know, if it's a 30, it goes 32, 34, 36 because of this first one. But then also, when it goes from November, when it hits November, 5% chance. Doesn't get infected, cool. December, 5% chance. Doesn't get infected, cool. But it's non-cumulative, so it's just 5% each time. It's not 5, then 10, then 15, then 20. Here we have a breakdown of the ingredients. Obviously, you know, brown malt, pale malt, standard yeast, and gruit. Yeah, I keep trying. And then on these, you see their seasonal prices. So if we bought brown malt in the springtime, it's more expensive than in the summer. And then fall and winter, it's, you know, generically priced. Standard yeast is all year round. Pale malt costs more in the spring, and it's super cheap in the summer. And then this one's just all year round. Over here we have various, right? So total brewing time, 8 days. But depending on the fermentine that's brewing it, that can knock down 2, 3, you know, however many days they can knock it down. Production cost per 10 liters, you know, so if it's, let's say it's summer. So that's 2, 6, 10, come here, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. So that's 16, which is the lowest price. But then if we get into, if we, you know, brew it in spring and we buy all of the ingredients, well, so that's 14, 16, 19, 21, 24, 27, 29. I might have done some math wrong there, but you know, we can get up to 30. Yeah, I definitely did math wrong there. Whatever. I'm not a math teacher, it's fine. It doesn't need to be aged. Some of our beers will need to be aged as they, you know, as we get farther along in all the different beers we can make. And then shelf life, 112 days. This really only matters if we're going to be keeping it and drinking it. So that's pretty much it. But so that's kind of the breakdown of the beers. Let's go into here. Okay, so here, right? since we're on the old ale, it can go minimum of 12, maximum of 37. Brewer 3 brews it at its max. But then... So, Fermentine has brewed this recipe before. If they brew it again, the base result will remain the same. But temporary modifiers will change the outcome. So it's always going to have its upper and lower limits, and then they are acquired during the first brewing. So, he has +2 intuition, +2 satisfaction, and +2 brewery. So our brewery, so this number will, the bottom little number will rise. So this guy is, he's our most intuitive brewer, which is why his intuition is 4, 2, and 2. He has high satisfaction, so satisfaction is 3. Satisfaction is 3, and then our brewery is going to be the same for all of them, because our brewery is just a +2. As we add more stuff into our brewery, it gets better. So this guy gets up to 37. So we're gonna brew. Do we have any open? He wants the light ale, so we're gonna go back up here. Light ale for the Lord. We're gonna use this guy because he has the highest. We don't have enough money. Just kidding. All right, so now we have our second brewery ready to go. Our monks are kind of comfortable. I mean, it's not super comfortable, but once we get some money, there we go. We're gonna brew his light ale just because we need to do that. And then with the remainder of our money, let's see. Let's get some more pictures in here, just because more pictures, more better. And it also raises our comfort. So comfort is 66. We're gonna add a couple of those, and now we're at 68. So right now, without having all of the other bonuses, so this quality is 28. So he's not gonna be very good at brewing this one. However, we only need to brew once. So now we're gonna have this completed, and we're gonna get access to this town right here, because this is our monastery. This is us up on the hill. And then you'll see, you can kind of see the road here. It leads to each town, and then it goes over here. Then we can go down, and then this is going to be our capital. So this is the end goal, is to be able to sell beer up here. But right now, we're starting in a tiny hamlet on the slope of the mountains, with almost more taverns than inhabitants. So we're going to start working our way through this map. So there's 11 outlying villages, I guess. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And then the capital. This one looks to be a big town, so that's going to have obviously more people, more money, more requirements. These look like farming towns or little villas or little villages. That looks like it's a decent sized town. So these back here, and then this one. So these, I think these are the, no, we get this one pretty quick, I think. I don't remember. But I know these are going to be a little harder for us because they're going to have more desire. Also from this map, we can buy more carts once we unlock them. And that is a research, I believe. But we got to brew some beer for ourselves. So just looking at price, it's 11 per 10 liters, 15 per 10, and 23 per 10. So we're going to brew this one. And since we're drinking it, let's be honest, we don't have enough money. We're not going to brew that one. There we go. Okay, so let's try and brew this one. And we're going to pay brew in store because we're going to drink it. We met them, Mazeldorf, we met them last episode. It's famous to Georg? The burgomaster, who's 97 and still drinks 7 liters a day of ale. And it's mostly sheep. So, I don't know, does sheep wool get more valuable if it's infused with alcohol? Because that would be pretty great. They want a blonde ale. Once again, we're going to go up to our 20%. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to win some and lose some there. I mean, it's almost, at this point in time, I'm not sure if we should be negotiating because we just need the money. So we might stop negotiating, or, yeah, we weren't able to pay our monthly upkeep. So monthly upkeep, we have 25 for the fermentines and 53 for the rooms. Yeah, and then we have this loan. Payment deadline is in 211 days. So we got to pay that loan off. But we have 0 money. So we're going to get our guys drinking because they enjoy that. Let's go to research. What else can we do? What else can we get? It's going to be good to pay the bandits with beer because we can brew beer and it does better than just, you know, paying them. I don't think any of this is going to help us right now. The mug shelves might, but in all honesty, so the pictures are 10. I'm looking down here, you can see this is the comfort rating. Pictures are 10, tapestry is 15. So if I sold all of my pictures, I might be able to buy like 2 or 3 tapestries. But I'm not sure that would offset the loss of all the pictures, because that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So we're at getting a plus 70 bonus for our quality currently. Yeah, so we're just gonna accept the amount that they're trying to sell it for. You need to brew an old ale. You can't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna sell it. So the first green appeal here is plus 12. They're paying 22 florin, so we're getting a profit of plus 12. If we go here, okay, so it's the exact same. 3 days, 2 days. This is gonna get us more money faster. Not more money. It's gonna get us money faster. So we're gonna ship out that ale and see if we can't make some money, because we're gonna have to pay these guys off pretty quick here. We only have 42 florins, and that would get us 42 reputation, which I don't think it's enough. The one, I'm not even sure if it's a critique. It's just the one weird thing about this game to me is the days continually tick, right? Like, I think, hang on. Yeah, so we're on November 14th, but there was no night cycle. And it was just no, yeah, see, the days are ticking, but there's no night cycle. I'm not sure if it's just because the time goes so fast that it wouldn't be conducive to have a night cycle, because it'd be day, night, day, night, day, night. And that would make sense, right? That checks out. But, okay, so we need to brew an old ale. You need to brew an old ale, to be precise. And then we have 25 florin left, and we have to pay these guys. Crap. Yeah, so up here, you can see our laymen. I don't know if you were paying attention just a minute ago, we had 5 laymen. Because we dropped down and we're now at a neutral standing with the bandits, we don't get anything. Once we get below this line, they start pillaging our beer carts. And if we get above, I don't know if you can see, but there's a line right here. I think it's 140. Once we get above that line into this big section, we actually get 2 extra laymen. The bandits just give us people, which is really solid. Okay, so we have 70 liters left. Let's try and make some money, because we need it. Because if we can't pay our bills, I mean, it's not an issue, right? As we've seen, they don't fault you, but I would prefer to be able to afford buying things. So we do have to negotiate a little bit. Let's just stay in the high range for chance of success. So they want blonde ale. And so what we're going to start doing, actually, is we're going to brew the max that we can. 80 liters. They only want 40. So what we can do is we can brew the 80. sell them the 40 and then store the 40. So our monks can, you know, profit a little bit off of this. We need to keep researching. What else we want? I mean, I really don't need to rebrew a lot, but we'll research it just so we can have it. That lets us, once we finish a brew, we can just click a button and just rebrews it. I find it's really good because, as I said in my first episode, I've played this game personally, right? I've been exploring it, and it's really good when you need to make a lot of money very quickly, and you just pick your cheapest beer and you just keep rebrewing it till your cellar is full, and then you rebrew it one more time. So then however many cellar slots you have that much beer, and you can just sell, you know, 400 liters at a time to a village and get paid all of that money. What else do we want? Let's pay... I actually don't know. I'm kind of at a loss here for what we should buy. Let's just pay bandits and then we'll buy this one, because this shows us how many barrels we should be selling, which is actually super helpful. Because I don't know if you saw in the last one. Actually, we'll see it here. So right now we're gonna sell 31 to 99 liters at 21 florin per 10. So as we lower the price, we're gonna make less but sell more. So let's give them the 40 liters, and then so we could raise this, right? It's gonna make them not super happy, but we're making 35 per 10 and we're selling 40 liters, so that's like 130, 140 florin we could make, and we're gonna sell most of it. So we can actually sell all of that. They're not gonna be super happy, and that's fine. I'm okay with them not being happy with me. And then we're gonna max brew and store, and then you should be able to I'll be able to show the rebrew function here, because we need to get our guys drinking, because our fermentines are not happy. They need beer in their life, which is true of me as well. While we're waiting on all that, we're just gonna go around and re-up all of our candelabras, just to make sure no one can get mad at me and say we don't have light in here. Okay, so we're gonna pause here real quick. We've now brewed lights out. We're gonna mark that for selling, and then we're going to, so if we give them 100 liters, okay, we don't want to do that. We'll give them 50 liters. Sweet. So now we're good standing, and we get 2 extra laymen. That reflects up here. Now we have 5. So we have 50 liters that we are now allowed to drink. So we're gonna go back to play. 50 liters because it was taken out to go give to the bandit lord right here. And so we can drink that now. But now when we come up here, we can click this and rebrew and store versus rebrew. So if I'm gonna sell it, I click this one. But if I just want them to brew it and store it, I just click that button. It makes it super easy to actually sell or rebrew for like personal use. Sounds like I'm talking about something else that's illegal. Oh no, I swear it's for personal use, personal consumption. Alright, so we got a little bit more money. Let's see, can we fill, no we can't, okay. We can't fill this out, but we can get it started. So now all we need, we come down here to furniture for this room, we need 210 florin, and we can get another brewery entirely set up, which is really nice. I think, so just kind of thinking long term, right? I want this bottom level to be the dormitories. So we'll have, I think we'll have 8 in each one maybe. So 8 and 8, 16, 24. Yeah, so if we can get 8 in each one, that's 24 fermentines. 2, 4, 6. We'll get 8 up here. So we'll have 3 dormitories and 3, refectories, sorry. 3 dormitories, 3 refectories. And then I do know at one point in time we will be able to get a abbess or an abbot, which is like the leader of our monastery. We're probably going to put their room up here somewhere. And then we'll probably put, I mean, obviously cellars down here. We'll go 3 across here, and then we'll just keep going down. Storerooms over here, maybe? Or storerooms in the mid? I think storerooms over here. The reason that I don't want to put anything in the middle here, I don't have anything to purchase right now, dang it, is there's no bonuses, right? Because as I showed with this, there's that little room adjacency bonus. This doesn't get any room adjacencies because it's just 1 in between these 2 stairwells. So we might be able to throw something there. I don't know. But so I'm thinking, you know, grand plans. 3 dormitories, 3 refectories. I guess the abbot's room, and then like another library up here. So we'll have 2 libraries in the abbot's room. And then we need to make them an old ale that I definitely didn't forget about. How many liters do they need? They need 70, okay. We can't even brew. Wait, yeah, we can. What? Oh no, we have 149. Sorry, can't count. Let's just sell this here. We're selling 34 liters, so we don't want to make them too mad. We'll just sell that. You know, we're not going to make a lot of money off of it, but we'll make some. Because we need to be able to brew this, because this is going to give us, obviously these are going to be more bang for our buck in terms of like price per quantity, because we sell 70 liters and we make, you know, 229. That was over here. So 70 liters for 229. That's payment. But then we do, let's say you brew it. We're gonna max it, so our cost is 235, but we're selling for 229, and then whatever we don't sell, or whatever we don't give to them, we can then sell. So cost per 10 liters is 24. Alright, so cost per 10 is 24. We go into the market, and I believe we can we'll make a profit on it. I know that to be true. But I can't do all the math right now just because I don't think it lets us, yeah, it just says ale sales. Ale sales. That was bad. Yeah, so they're all starting their day with some food. I need to get that cleaning cupboard. Oh, I think I might put another laboratorium up here just so I can have 4 fermentines doing research and just blitz through the research, and then I can repurpose them into, you know, we'll just stack them full of like the best comfort and like bonus stuff. We'll just stack them up there, and I'll get some cleaning cupboards up here. That's like I said, grand plans. We need our guys to drink 1 more style of beer. So we just arrived at Lights Out, so we should be making some money pretty quick here. That's at least the theory. 50% to all prices and an edict. Okay. So from the bishop, we burn the midnight oil in search of the tastiest ale, and that demands we try the finest, most peculiar of ingredients. But the kings and queens have no understanding of the craft. A mere whisper from their regents, and their minds scatter. How can we push boundaries, restricting ourselves to a handful of ingredients? Bah, give them some time to understand the error of their ways. Until then, brew carefully. So we can't use roasted, rye, smoked, or wheat malt. Now, thankfully, We don't have access to any of those. So, go team. And then we're going to get 50% sale prices, as you saw from this little indicator up here, and 150 florin after it ends, and 1 fame after it ends. So we have to end this successfully. Now, I'm not worried because we don't have access to, let's just pick this, cool. We don't have access, we have brown malt and pale malt. That was not in that, list of things we can't use. So, if we sell beer, now we need to drink that one. Our monks need something to drink. So we're gonna double speed this just until we get an income. Blonde ale is trending on all markets. Okay, so hang on. Let's brew. What do you need? You need 70 old ale. I think we just brew the 70. That's 160. That's only have like $99 left. We'll brew it here, and then I can't brew anything because I don't have a fermenter. I need more money, and I can't take out a loan because I already have a loan taken out. I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it. Yeah, it's not doing great. But why are you upset? Let's check. Where does he come out? Right there. He's not upset? He was upset. Okay. So you go there, and then we're gonna sell that, make some money. Hopefully be able to sell seasonal trending styles. It's trending for the rest of the season, so all of winter. Every market that buys it, it will sell for higher price and larger quantities. So blonde ale, they drink it. They do not drink blonde ale. It might just be because we're not at a high enough reputation. So in Malseldorf, we just need to sell them a bunch of light ale, because then that's another Brother Maltus event, I believe. Maybe it's this one. I think this is a Maltus event, and this might be, hang on. Market, ale. Okay, so this is gonna be like I think this is like the Maltus event right here, or like another special event. Like, this one gave us ale orders, this might be ale orders, this might be a Maltus event kind of thing. Because here we got, yeah, this was a Maltus event, that was a Maltus event. A Brother Maltus where we got the new beers. So yeah, that's going to be these. We're going to get access to new beers, and probably the Lord is going to pop up at some point in time in this back section to get us access to the next town. But I think this is like, they will now offer ale orders, so they will order ale. But we do know that right now we need to be selling blonde. Do I have, oh, you're light. Let's brew some blonde. Actually, hang on. I know I said I wasn't going to. No, this is cheaper, never mind. I was gonna say, if the one for the Lord was cheaper, we could just brew that one, Then I know we're on double speed. Again, we can't pay our loan because we don't have any money. It's fine. It's fine. To get this out of the way, actually. Hang on, I have an idea. Let's sell all of that. We're going to store this in the cellar. Mark it as drinkable. Have a monk come down here and drink it. And then we're going to sell it. Just so we can clear this bishop's task out of the way. And then we'll be able to hopefully make some money off of it. That's theory, at least. Let's go high. 80 liters of light. Oh, we just had light ale. If I had waited 2 seconds. Okay. Apparently we didn't need to drink the blonde ale. Okay. So we're gonna leave it at its base price because we're only selling 92 liters and they're going to drink up to 99. And if I drop it down, right, we're going to make less, but they're guaranteed to drink more. But I don't want them to want 158 liters. I'd prefer that we kind of shoot... Maybe going to the first screen is actually a good idea. You know? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. So let's brew a light ale. In theory, if we can get some money. There we go. Okay, so real quick before we run out of money. Max it. Pay and brew. Oh, can we get... Oh, we can start our next brewing line. Okay. So we're gonna change the name here to Brewery 1, and then this is going to be Brewery... Dude, I cannot speak this evening. Brewery 2. Okay, well, so I think since we got Brewery 2 up and running, we're gonna finish out this order, and then we're just gonna sell it up there, and then we're gonna try and start one more. Nope. Okay, well, so we finished out that order. We got our second brewery up and running. We kind of got our grand plan for what we want our monastery to look like, and so with that, I'm going to leave it there tonight. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.